Howdy, friends. This is Lance. And one of the common questions I get is what do you do about a situation where you are a co teacher in a classroom teacher's Google Classroom? And so this can be a little bit overwhelming because you suddenly get all these alerts and notifications, and it's tough to kind of manage and navigate all of Google Classroom because you'll see all kinds of different assignments in here, and you're wondering, okay, which one do I look at? Because I didn't assign them, so they don't make sense to me. So if that's you, there's a few things that we can do. Number one, let's manage your notifications. So to manage notifications, you click on the pancake stack here, the three lines, scroll to the bottom and go to your settings for Google Classroom. And here you can adjust what kind of settings you get. And so you can specify generally what settings. If you don't see these settings, that means you turn them off altogether. And that's not a good idea either. So you want to make sure that you have some settings on so that way you can see any notifications for classes that you may need to see those notifications. Now you can turn off specific classes. And so if I don't want notifications for this class, I can turn them off altogether. So that way I just don't see those notifications. And the reason why this would be significant, because if I am a co-teacher in a class, then sometimes I just need to see a few students. I don't need to see all the notifications for all the students in the class. So that's number one. So number two is in Google Calendar. So I opened a new tab and I'm going to go to the waffle and click on Calendar, and I'm going to adjust my settings in Google Calendar. You can unsubscribe from class calendar. So in Google Classroom, one of the things that happens is every single class that's created has a calendar attached to it. So if I go to this classroom right here, there's the calendar. I can hide them from the view. That's one option. Another option is if I don't ever want to see this calendar, I can go into the settings of that calendar and go to the bottom and I can unsubscribe from that calendar. Now, I don't want to delete it. If I delete it, I will remove it for everyone. And so I just want to unsubscribe from that calendar. Make sure you know the difference between those because that could be devastating for the classroom teacher. I'm going to close out of Google Calendar. So that's two things that can be helpful. I'll go back to my classes. And the next thing that is helpful to know is that when I'm in a class, instead of digging through the assignments, I can use the upcoming, but then still I'll see all the students. A simple way that you can clarify which ones you need to look at or how a student is progressing is to click on the People tab. This is one of my favorite places to go. So when I click on the People tab, I can pick which student I want to see. Now, obviously, in this scenario, I don't have a whole lot of students, but if you're dealing with a typical classroom, you have, 20 to 30 students, maybe even 35 students, all in one class. And so it's helpful if you can just go straight to one student. And then what happens is you are able to see what is turned in, what is missing, and anything that's graded. And so you get this nice overview of how that specific student is doing. So if I need to give feedback to that student, what I can do is go straight to that assignment for that student, and I can click on that document. If this is an assignment where there isn't a document available, if you hit View Details, you can see the entire assignment, and you'll be directly on that student's work. I'll go back to the grade view, and this is where you could provide private comments. And if I go to regular Google Classroom, those comments will appear here as well. I'll have to refresh the screen. And then the student is able to receive that feedback. When I'm ready for the next student, I can go back to the title of the Google Classroom and click back on the People tab and find my next student that I want to work with. If I need to continue working with that same student, then I can get back to this list of all the assignments that are due or missing. For also a quick overview, you can also select these as they categorize what's turned in, what's been returned, and what is still missing. I hope this resource was helpful for you as a co-teacher in a Google Classroom.